Hey, good morning. My name is Adam Bursan, and this is our Monday morning training. This morning, we're going to be talking about just kind of how to put a plan together, especially if you're first getting into the business and maybe you just got licensed. Maybe you're just looking for a little bit of help and support. You want to put a plan together, but you just don't really know, where to go after just getting licensed. Maybe even agents who maybe been in the business for a while, but are just kind of looking for a new plan of action, just something to put together. Bottom line, I think it's just about consistency, just having that steady flow of leads on a regular basis and always having people to see. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started here. So let's see here. So, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about just getting your business up and running. Getting your business up and running. Like I said, maybe you just got licensed. Maybe you're, like I said, maybe you're just kind of looking to kind of get things moving again. We're going to be talking about ordering leads, different lead sources, different types of leads, uh, working those leads, and then preparing to present. And you can go back and watch. I have a lot of different content, a lot of different videos that kind of go through the presentation that I've used that has helped me to be very successful throughout the years. So feel free to check that out on my YouTube, and it's just there to help you. So, first thing, again, if you just got licensed, whoever you're working with, whether that's me, whether that's somebody else, I think it's very important you got to learn your carriers. You got to learn your carriers. I'd also probably recommend to learn your competition. Learn not only what the companies that you're working with are doing and what they can do to help people, but also learn what your competition is doing. Because I mean, you're going to be in houses. People are going to maybe have a policy that, maybe it's not a good fit for them, but you're not going to know that unless you know that company and just kind of the history behind them and what that product offers. I mean, there's plans out there where people uh, they think they're covered forever and they get canceled when they turn 80 years old. There's a lot of plans too where people think they're covered right away and they're not covered for the first couple of years. So I think it's really good too to learn your competition, uh, but keep it simple. I mean, I know a lot of different organizations when they want to get people started, they get them contracted with like 20 different companies that all do the same thing. And I just wonder how necessary really is that. Uh, I mean, for majority of my career, I've been focused on like one company. Just recently, over the past maybe 9 or 10 months, I've kind of branched out and I'm working with a number of different companies now. But again, even though I have contracts with a ton of different companies, there's really only about maybe two or three that I would consider like my sole focus. So I don't feel like you need to be contracted all over the place. Maybe there's organizations that do that just to tie the agent down, where then if they want to move on to do other things, it can be difficult. I've seen situations like that too. So you really only need a few. Again, if you have a company too that insures most of the people that you talk to, that would be a good one to lead with. If you can write as much business with that one company as possible, it's going to help you when it comes to building up a good renewal base with that one carrier. It can also help you too. A lot of these different companies, they have different perks, different bonuses, different incentive trips. It's hard to make an incentive trip if you're writing your business with 20 different companies. So if you have like that primary go-to carrier and you try to write as much as you can with that one company, there's a good chance that you should be able to write enough business to qualify for different incentive, different trips, and things like that. Um, so learn two or three other carriers outside of like your primary. Um, Again, I mean, there's like those one-off scenarios. Really, those would be when I'm using the other carriers. For instance, like COPD, diabetic neuropathy. Those are some conditions where a lot of companies are going to take those people like modified, where there would be like that 2-year period before the person's fully covered. But there are some companies that will insure those people right away. So those are like kind of like those one-off scenarios. Maybe height and weight. If you run into a scenario where the person, maybe their health is very good, but they just have some height and weight issues, that would be another one where I would probably turn to another option outside of like the primary carrier, because it would be to the client's best interest if I can get them coverage where they're going to be covered right away, and if I can do that at a reasonable price, there's not going to be that 2 year waiting period. And again, I mean, if they're overweight but their health is good and they're really not taking a whole lot of medications, and there's a company that's going to insure that person right away, well, I mean, that would be the best case scenario for that client. So again, there's some scenarios where you're going to want to shift to maybe, like a secondary or like a third carrier, but I mean, most companies are pretty similar, I guess you could say, when it comes to the underwriting. So if you have a good carrier that you like working with, maybe they have easy processes, maybe you like their e-app. For instance, I use American Amicable as I would consider like my primary carrier. The one thing I love about them is that the fact that when I write that e-app, when I submit it, well, not only does it provide the underwriting decision, but if that decision comes back any different than what I'm assuming it's going to come back as, or other than applied for, they're going to let me know why. So, I mean, heck, if I write a piece of business and I think it's going to go first day coverage preferred and it goes to modified, they call it return of premium. If it goes to return of premium, well, they're going to let me know why. I mean, maybe that person has a certain health issue that they're not going to take first day, but maybe I have another company that will. Other companies, a lot of them, they don't provide that information up front. So, that's what I like, is that I know kind of where to shift to if I need to. Where if I write a piece of business with another company, if it comes back modified, well, I mean, I can try a few other companies, but I don't really know why, especially if I feel like the client is being upfront and honest with me and there's not a whole lot that I can see. So, like I said, that's one luxury I think of doing business with American Amicable, is because they have that. So, I love knowing, like I said, I love knowing the reason behind the decision. And if I need to shift gears, well, I'll know where to shift my gears to. Uh, and as time goes on, if you feel the need to add any additional carriers, go for it. But when you're first starting out, keep it simple. Don't overwhelm yourself. Um, and study the different product guides, study the different underwriting guides. It's good to learn this stuff. Uh, Again, I mean, you're going to have clients that have questions. You want to do your best to be able to answer those questions. You don't want to always have to call a manager or an upline because you're not quite sure about something. I mean, I get it. When you first start, you are going to have questions, but I think too, it can be pretty annoying to an upline if the agent just continuously calls them, where the upline can tell that they just don't want to learn it themselves, that it's easier to just call Adam because Adam just has the answers for me. I mean, you need to learn the stuff. I mean, I've had agents call me because they want me to calculate a rate for them. It's like, you gotta learn these things. You can't depend on someone always to be doing these sort of things for you. You got to learn it. But yeah, learn the agent guide. Insurance toolkits has been very helpful for me. It's about the cost of one direct mail lead every month, which I think it's like $40 a month. And like I said, that's about the cost of a direct mail lead right now. Same thing. I mean, you can plug in the different medications, you can plug in the different health conditions, and it's going to let you know what the best options would be. So that's really been useful to me, again, because I was so primarily focused on just working with that one company. One of them for 7.5 years, another one before that for 11.5 years. So, again, it really opened my eyes to see all these different companies. If I can put those clients in a good plan and I know they're going to be covered right away, well, that's the best option that's available for the client. And again, as I mentioned, You do want to learn this stuff. Don't be afraid to contact your upline manager if you have questions and you need help. But like I said, just don't abuse it. Don't just always constantly feel like rather than learn it yourself, just call your upline and they'll just always have the answers for you. You need to learn those answers, especially if you want to build. Maybe you want to build, maybe you want to grow, maybe you've been successful personally producing, but if if you don't learn stuff, then what value do you have to any managers that you want to, or I'm sorry, any agents that you want to bring on? When you bring on an agent and they have questions, you don't always want to have to say, well, hold on, let me call my upline, because that gives you no value. What do you think your agent's going to start doing? They're just going to start calling your upline because you hold no value to them. So that's another reason why it's important to learn the stuff yourself. But like I said, especially when you're first starting, though, don't be afraid to call your upline. They should be there to help you and support you. And if they're not there to help you and support you, you might need to maybe look for a new upline. If presenting in a home and your client has questions, again, that you're unsure of, call your upline manager, but then learn it. Like I said, don't abuse it. Uh, so 4 things that I feel are crucial to your success. And I mean, there's actually one presentation I've done where there's about 25 different points. I would consider these like the top 4. So you can feel free to go back and watch the YouTube talks about long-term success in the business and how to achieve that. A lot of good points in that presentation, but these are what I would consider like the top 4. Number 1 is money management. Leads are the name of the game. You got to have that steady flow of leads. You've heard me say that. I'm like a broken record talking about that, but you got to be able to manage your money. You got to remember that when you make a sale, it's great having that commission coming in. You got to be setting some of that money aside for future lead orders. And that's something too that we're going to be talking about today. Consistently working leads. You got to remember this is a full-time opportunity. It's a full-time career, and you got to be willing to put that time in. You got to be willing to put the time in. And you got to have that steady flow of leads, that consistent lead order. And it's easy to achieve that and have a steady, consistent lead order on a regular basis if you're good at managing your money. They kind of work hand in hand with one another. And have some structure. I think learning a presentation is important. I don't think you want to just go into a house all the time and wing it. I think it's good to have that structure. Again, if you're looking to build and grow, maybe at some point down the road, it's good to have a system. It's good to have something that you can teach your agents that has helped you to be successful, that then they can teach their agents. And then when they start to build a team, you can feel pretty comfortable knowing that they're doing everything the same way that you taught them. But even if you're just looking to personally produce, it still helps. I mean, I just feel like you're much smoother in the home when you have something to kind of work off of that will keep you on track, because your client, they could get you off guard. They could get you off track real quick with just little questions. And you want to make sure. I like to be thorough. I like to make sure that they understand everything that we're talking about. And if they kind of get you off track there, sometimes it's hard to get back on. But if you have a presentation and you kind of know the points that you're wanting to go over, it does make it a little bit easier to kind of shift back into the presentation, even if a client maybe asks you a question that is just a little bit off topic or a little bit off from where you're currently at in the presentation. And then work ethic, again, top 4 things. I mean, you're managing your money so you can order leads on a regular basis, so you can present to people. Well, you got to be able to get out of bed and do it. And there's no sense in the first 3 if you're not willing to get out there and do it. And I'm not talking about 9 to 5 like you're working, a regular 9 to 5 salary position. I'm talking about, I mean, you got to be willing to put the time in. It's more than just 9 to 5. You got to be willing to be out there in the evening. A lot of people that we talk to, a lot of people that request information, they may still be working. if you're only working 9 to 5, you're never going to catch that person at home. You got to be out after 5 o'clock. You got to be out there on Saturdays. Saturdays is a great day to catch people that you're not going to be able to catch during the week. People that maybe are working during the week. So again, work ethic. There's no sense in hopping on my trainings if you're not willing to get out there and work. Bottom line, what's the point in learning everything if you don't want to go out there and do it? So, so money management, again, setting money aside, it's crucial if you want to have long-term success in the business. And that's just because we need that constant, steady flow of leads on a regular basis. Yes, there are other ways of generating business outside of just working leads. You can go back and watch the training that I did last week. It's on YouTube and it talks about that. But leads, again, is like the lifeblood of the business. It's the leads is what's going to put food on the table, and everything outside of that you could look at as just like an added bonus. So everything else is dessert. The leads are dinner. So open up a separate bank account. One recommendation I would have for you, and call it your leads account. And that's the only purpose, is that every time you make a sale, every time you earn a commission, throw 30% of that lead order. So throw 30% of that commission deposit into your leads bank account. That money will begin to accumulate. And then when you're ready to place a lead order, well, you'll already have that money set aside. So your first week, just remember, it takes money to make money. And you have to be willing to invest maybe a little bit more your first few weeks. The reason you got to invest more your first few weeks too is because, well, you got to focus on leads for right now, but then you also need to focus on leads for like 3-4 weeks down the road. And we'll talk about the different types of leads in a few minutes here, but and where you'll kind of see where I'm going with that. But if you don't have money for leads, work your warm market and do whatever it takes to write business. Your warm market, this is what I would consider a fast start, especially if you're brand new to the business. If you're brand new and you just got licensed and you're telling everybody about what you're doing now, you have family members, you have friends. If you ask them for help, you think they'd be willing to help you? I think they would. And that's where you could put together a list. Again, you're brand new. Maybe you don't have a lot of money for leads. You put together a list of 15 people that you know. How difficult is that when we have phones that have thousands of contacts in them? How difficult is that when we're on Facebook and we have tons of friends on Facebook? You're going to not have any difficulty putting together a list of 15 people. Contact them and let them know about your new career and what you're doing now. And ask if you can come by to practice your presentation with them. My company wants me to practice presenting to 15 people that I know to make sure I'm confident and ready to start selling to everyone. Would you be available for about 15 to 20 minutes tomorrow so I can come by and practice my presentation with you? And you could go in with that attitude, but still end up writing business. You could go in there and have your presentation down good enough where you do maybe even pique that person's interest and they want to do some business with you. And that's really the goal, is to try to write some business from the people that you know, because that's going to lead to additional sales, additional referrals. It's low pressure. Quote and try to write a policy on them. If they aren't in need, ask for referrals, and just let them know how much referrals will really help, being that you are just getting started. Maybe they have plenty of money saved. Maybe they don't really need much when it comes to assistance, when it comes to having to pay for the funeral. And so maybe the need for them isn't really there. If it's just final expense, if you are offering other products, maybe there could be a need there as well. But then maybe they know people that would be in that scenario, though, of somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of money saved. They are living on a fixed income, and they know that if something were to happen to them, that there could be a tough situation at hand when it comes to people having to figure out ways to pay for their funeral. So again, think about people like that and work on getting referrals to help people like that. One thing I always ask when getting referrals in a home, I just made a sale, and I always tell them, let's think about anybody that you know that if they were to pass away, it could affect you financially. And if you know that if that person were to pass away and you're going to have to pitch in to pay for it, that's somebody that we need to help. So, so put together a list like that of people, and then again, you can let them know not only are you doing a good thing for the person that you know and helping them, but you're also helping yourself, because then you're not going to have to worry about pitching in to pay for that funeral when the time comes, because you looked out for that person ahead of time. So set a goal of writing 3,000 to 5,000 in annualized premium your first week off of these the 15 people that you know. Again, that's very doable, I think. If you're sitting down with 15 people that you know, I bet you write at least 30% of the people that you sit down with, maybe even more. So again, just a good way to get started and kind of get some cash flow going, so then you can move into getting leads. Again, a lot of people that are getting into a new business, well, in this business, when you need money for leads on a regular basis, you got to have that money to be able to purchase some leads. And sometimes when people are coming from other opportunities, they just don't have a whole lot of money to get started. So this is just one way of doing so. Another way, heck, if there's a will, there's a way. And cold door knocking is another way. Practice doing neighborhood enrollments. Best areas are those that would be considered middle to low income, with houses that are close together. And a lot of the areas that we work in final expense, that's how the houses are. I mean, you walk down to the sidewalk, and you walk over to the next house, and it's 10 feet away. So houses that are close together, you can get a lot done in a short amount of time. And I mean, you should be able to knock about 20 doors an hour, I would say, and you should be able to make a sale. We've actually tested this. About 40 door knocks should equal one sale. So figure if you knock on 40 doors, that would mean that every 2 hours you should be able to make a sale. Not a bad deal. But again, it is more difficult. You're going to get rejected a lot. Getting rejected is not a bad thing. It's going to make you feel a whole lot better when you get rejected on a lead. And maybe it's going to be able to help you to maybe feel a little bit more comfortable, maybe even know how to overcome certain objections at the door that where, again, the longer you do it, you just kind of start to figure out. You get rejected at one house, you're going to be walking back to your car, and you're going to think about, what could I have done differently? What could I have said that maybe next time I'll be able to get in a house? But again, the cold door knocking, same thing. You're going to learn a lot from doing that, and you will get rejected, but you will get accepted as well. And heck, all it takes is that one person to let you in. It tells you, thank God you showed up, because we really needed this, and it makes it all worth it. Real simple. Hi, my name is Adam Bersan, and I'm a benefits coordinator licensed with the state of Illinois. And I've been assigned to do a neighborhood enrollment for a state-approved final expense program that will pay your family up to $50,000 in the event of your death to cover your final expenses. I just need about 5 minutes of your time to see if you qualify. Can I come in? It's as simple as that. And again, you give them that little 30-second pitch at the door, and you'll think that you'll get a lot of doors slammed in your face, but I've had a lot of results that were opposite of that. People that were very welcoming and happy that I showed up, and people telling you, wow, thank you so much for coming. This is actually something that we were just talking about. We didn't know who to turn to get it. So, you're like an answer to our prayers. A call list, a door knock list. There's different lists that you can purchase. Listshack.com is one. You could also order Facebook age leads, also age direct mail leads. If you take a look around, there's a lot of different vendors. All you got to do is search either on Facebook or even on Google, and you'll find different different aged Facebook lead vendors. I've seen aged Facebook lead vendors where you can get leads for like $2 a piece. Um, and what I found too, a lot of people on the Facebook leads, they don't answer their phone, and there are not a whole lot of people that are just showing up to their house and knocking on their door. So you could purchase a lot of those aged Facebook leads and have pretty decent results if you're door knocking them. Uh, Aged direct mail. Good thing about direct mail leads is that they never really do get old. Uh, People are filling a card out. It's in their handwriting. There's a good chance that they still haven't done anything yet. And if they have done something, it might not be the best plan that's available for them. And again, you can always blame the last person too that never showed up on an aged lead, and be very apologetic and say, I'm so sorry that nobody had come by. That's why I'm here. I kind of oversee this area, and I noticed that you'd sent this in and hadn't been contacted yet. So, but I treat an aged lead like a brand new lead. I don't treat it any different. I'm not going to really say anything different at the door. I'm going to treat it like a brand new lead, unless they bring up that was something that I did a real long time ago. Why did it take so long for you to get here? If that's the case, then I'll blame the last person that never showed up. I'll take leads that I bought 2 years ago. Maybe I never got a hold of the people. I'll still blame the last person. So, and then if you are calling a list, like off of like List Shack, you do want to make sure that it is scrubbed for the do not call list. If you're working aged Facebook leads, same thing. You want to make sure that if you are calling them, that they are within 90 days from the time that the person requested the information. You just don't want to get yourself in any kind of trouble. There's a lot of professionals out there that are just looking to sue people for calling them. So again, make sure that everything you're doing is compliant. And again, on an age lead, your safest bet would probably be to just door knock it. But if you are doing telesales, just make sure that the lists are scrubbed. People are not on the do not call list. And then they're free reign. You can call whoever you want as long as they're not on that do not call list. So this is a path to success that is kind of like your first 4 weeks of getting started. Whether you're a brand new agent or whether you're just looking for a new path, some new help. This is what I recommend doing. And I have agents right now that are consistently working 30 Facebook leads every week. They're doing very well on them. And some of them are looking to shift to direct mail. Others have been pretty happy with the Facebook, and they're just going to keep going that route. But what I recommend doing, and the reason I like direct mail better than Facebook, is because it puts me within an area where the houses of the leads are about anywhere from maybe 2 to 5 minutes apart. Where a Facebook lead, I might be driving a half hour in between stops. So you're just going to be able to work a lot more leads throughout the day. Even if you got to pay more money for a direct mail lead, time is money. And if you can knock on 40 doors in a day compared to 10, you're going to have better results, and you're going to make more sales and a heck of a lot more money. But the problem with direct mail leads is that when you place a lead order, it's going to take at least 3 to 4 weeks for those leads to come in. So that's why your first 3 weeks, I recommend doing this. Weeks 1 through 3, you want to order 30 Facebook leads and then also 20 direct mail leads. Or you could do a 1,500 piece lead drop. There's not a whole lot of vendors these days that are doing price per lead orders. Reach out to me though, and I'd be happy to kind of go through some of those vendors that still do the fixed price per lead. And we might even be able to work on putting a campaign together for you. But the 30 Facebook leads are leads that you're ordering for right now. You're placing that lead order within a day or two. Those leads are going to start coming in. Where those direct mail leads, you're ordering those direct mail leads for like weeks 4 or like weeks 5 and on. Okay, so weeks 1 through 3, week 1, you place uh, the 30 Facebook leads. Then you place the 20 direct mail lead order. And then you're going to work those 30 Facebook leads. You're going to make some sales. You're going to earn some commissions. You're going to transfer that 30% of your commissions into that separate bank account. And then now you got money to place that next week's lead order. Because again, that following week, same thing. You're going to have to place 30 more Facebooks for that week, and then the 20 direct mail leads. And direct mail leads aren't cheap. Those 20 direct mail leads are probably going to cost you $800. So, but you are going to generate some sales off those 30 Facebook leads, as I mentioned, to be able to help you the following weeks. Your most expensive week is going to be week 1. Weeks 2, 3, and 4 shouldn't be too bad because you will be making money at that point. I sure hope so. And then weeks 4 and on, I'd recommend to shift gears and just focus on working the direct mail leads. If you like the Facebook leads, keep ordering them. After a while, you will build up an inventory on the Facebook leads where you will have leads that are a little bit closer together, but still, the direct mail where going in, everything's going to be so much closer together. You're just going to have a whole lot more people to see. Like I said, within a small area, and you're going to, like I said, you'll probably be able to catch up with at least 3 to 4 times as many people throughout the day. And it's worth the added investment because, again, I wish the Facebook leads, I wish that more people would answer their phones, but we just haven't had a whole lot of we haven't had a whole lot of success with agents being able to get appointments set on the Facebook leads because people just don't answer their phones. So that's where, you're more than likely going to have to door knock them. And with that, they're going to be more spread out. I mean, last week I was working some Facebook leads, and I think one day I maybe was able to knock on like maybe 10 to 12 houses. Like that was a whole day of door knocking. I mean, I did a ton of driving. I used like half a tank of gas, and it was draining by the end of the day. And I hadn't really done much at all the entire day. I mean, I knocked on one door, person wasn't home or person wasn't interested. I finally got in a house at about 6 o'clock at night, and I ended up writing a husband and wife. I think it was a total of about $2,300 in premium. So it was a pretty good sale. But again, if I had been working the Facebook leads, or I'm sorry, if I had been working the direct mail leads, I would have more than likely caught up with a heck of a lot more people and made that many more sales. So that's why I would recommend after those first 3 weeks, there's really no way around it your first 3 weeks while you're waiting for your direct mail to come in. But once you get to like week 4, shift gears and just focus on direct mail. At that point, maybe increase your leads to 25 a week. And then from there, you can maybe even increase it up to 30 a week. You just have to have that confidence going in, knowing that, yeah, I'm spending a lot of money on these leads, but I know that I'm going to be able to generate some sales. 20 years in the business now. It wouldn't work without leads. It wouldn't work if I hadn't invested money into leads. So there's really no shortcuts. There's no easier way to do it. You got to lead with leads, and direct mail, in my opinion, especially for field sales, is just the way to go. Now, what if there was an easier way? What if you're brand new? And as I mentioned, maybe you're coming from another opportunity and you just don't have a whole lot of money. I mean, if we go back a slide here, this is a big investment. We're talking about 30 Facebook leads. That's going to cost you about $700 a week for 30 Facebook leads. And then 20 direct mail leads, like I mentioned. I mean, 20 direct mail leads, you're looking at $800. So that's a $1,500 investment, weeks 1, 2, and 3. I mean, you're looking at $4,500 investment right there. And that's a lot of money, especially someone that's coming from maybe, like I said, an opportunity where they're not making a whole lot of money. So what's the easier way? Well, if you want to become a part of my organization, Unity Life Group, we invest into leads for you. So long as you're willing to get to work. All you got to be willing to do is get out and work. We take care of the hardest part of the job for you, the marketing, the leads, making sure that you have that steady flow of people to see on a regular basis. All you got to do is contact through us with the carriers that we use for that program. You only need a few. I mean, I'm telling you, we keep it simple. Bottom line, you want to be able to insure the people and get them covered right away. You only need about maybe 2 or 3 different carriers to make that happen. So, you need to contact with those carriers through us, of course. Every week you would receive 20 to 30 leads in your area at zero upfront cost to you. I have a number of agents right now that are working 30 Facebook leads every week, and they're doing very well working those. As I mentioned, we are shifting gears a little bit with some direct mail in some areas, but the great thing too with the Facebook, I mean, we are consistently having a whole lot of people, a whole lot of leads generated. It's not like they're drying out. Every single week, my agents know going in, they're going to have those 20 to 30 leads coming to them. Now, when a sale's made, half of your earnings is going to go towards paying your leads off. The other half's going to go straight into your bank account. So what's cool about that is that after you make maybe 2 or 3 sales for the week, you're going to see full commissions. And we're talking about, not a reduced commission. I've seen different organizations out there that push free lead programs. And those free lead programs are putting you on a very low comp. And it's like you're always going to be making that low comp. So here, you're going to be a lower comp, maybe your first 2 or 3 sales for the week, because half of your commission is going to be going towards paying those leads back. But then after that, you're going to see that full commission. I think I'm going to do a video and I'm going to break that down. I'm going to show you based on, a free lead program compared to what we do with the finance, and how you'll come out so much further ahead on the financing side, because we're starting you at a street level commission. We're not reducing your comp to help you with leads, because in the long run, on a free lead program, you know who makes the most money on a free lead program? The upline. The upline is the one who's going to profit the most, not the agent. And we want you to be the one who's profiting more than anybody. This is all put in place just to help and support and to make sure that you have that steady flow of leads. As I mentioned, as long as you're willing to get out and work, and as long as you're willing to follow a system. Again, we have a presentation that works. Learn it, and it's only going to help you. So feel free to reach out to me if you want more information on that program. I'd be more than happy to maybe set up a call. We can talk about it and see if you'd be a good fit. And yeah. And then once that balance is cleared, you'll see that full commission, 1 to 2 sales a week should really be enough to clear that lead balance. So not too difficult to achieve that. So just some appointment setting tips too for when your leads start coming in. I do think it is good to try to put together a day of appointments. So let's just say today I have a whole bunch of leads coming in. I'm going to be calling those leads for tomorrow. And then tomorrow, maybe I'll call leads for the following day. I try to keep it within one day. And again, people that don't answer, or people that just don't give you the time of day over the phone, those are people that you're going to want to put into your your stack of leads of people to reach at a later date, leads to go out and door knock. So when I call, I always use first names. I think it maybe sounds a little less telemarkety if you're just saying, "Hey, Mary," or "Hey, Mike," rather than, "Hi, Mr. Johnson." To me, it right away, you're not going to sound so salesy if you're using their first name. And I recommend to make calls every day in the evening. One reason, you're going to be out working during the day. How could you be making calls at 5 o'clock at night when you're still out running leads at 5 o'clock at night? I sure hope so. As I mentioned, you got to do what you can to get in front of people. So, but another reason why it works this way is because people are, again, at 5 o'clock in the evening, a lot of our clients, they're taking care of their grandkids, or they're maybe getting dinner put together. It's not the best time to be making phone calls to set up your day. By 8 o'clock at night, they're probably maybe a little bit more relaxed. They're kicking back. They are maybe just sitting back watching TV. And another thing, are telemarketers calling people between 8 and 9 o'clock at night? Usually they're not. Usually they're calling a little bit earlier. So the chances of them answering that phone at 8 o'clock at night is a little bit better than at 5 o'clock. And set appointments on the hour, 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock. This it makes it a lot easier too once you have those direct mail leads to be able to do that when everything is close together. I mean, the presentation we use, quoting, writing the app, you should be in and out of that house, I'd say, in 30 to 45 minutes. On to the next. Um, and if you do take a little bit longer in the houses, then maybe spread out your appointments to maybe 90 minutes rather than just on the hour. But you got to remember too, going in, not every single appointment is going to be there. So when you just have a little gap like that, I mean, if I have a no-show at 10 o'clock, you think I'm waiting around till 11 o'clock to hit the next appointment? No, I'm more than likely I'm going straight to that next appointment. And if I get there early, I get there early. And then I'll have maybe a little bit more time before my next appointment where I can go back and I can door knock some leads. But don't set up your appointments any earlier than 10 a.m. for the next day unless the client must meet you earlier. And the reason for that, people that you don't reach in the evening time, get on the phone before you head out that morning. Call from 9 to 10 to set up appointments for that day. And this, again, the further out that you're setting your appointments, the bigger the chance that they're not going to be home when you get there. So if I'm calling in the morning on Monday for Monday afternoon, there's a real good chance they're going to be there Monday afternoon. If I'm calling Monday morning for Wednesday night or Thursday morning, there's a real good chance they're not going to be there. So I try to keep the appointment setting to like within a day or so, 2 days at most. And another thing to keep in mind too. Now, another way around this would be if you do have an appointment setter, if they're doing that work for you, then have them set you a 9 a.m. appointment. I have an appointment setter, and I have them set me up 9 to 6 o'clock at night. So that gives me, a whole lot of appointments throughout the day. What I like about having that 9 o'clock appointment is that it gets me out of the house. If I don't have a 9 a.m. appointment, sometimes, unfortunately, I tend to maybe lollygag a little bit, and I take my time getting out of the house, and it might be 9:30 before I get out of the house. Where, when I know I have that 9 a.m. appointment, even if they're not home, to me, it's not a bad thing because it at least got me up and out, and I'm ready to go, and I already have a whole lot of other people that I can see throughout the day. So now, if you get rejected over the phone, plan on stopping by that lead, I'd say like 2 days later. So like I actually have some leads that my appointment setters, they had some difficulty getting a hold of. I'm going to have a little bit of time today. I'm just going to get on the phone and I'm going to call them. And then I'm going to plan on setting those for tomorrow. And the first appointment I'm going to try to set will be for 9 in the morning. Because like I said, then that's going to get me up and out of the house and ready to go for the day. But if you get rejected, again, plan on stopping by 2 days later. You stop by their house 2 days later, they're not even going to realize that you're the person that they hung up on over the phone or that they told you that they just weren't interested. I look at it this way. You're paying some pretty good money for these leads. I'm not going to give up that easy. If they tell me no over the phone, well, that's fine, but they're going to have to tell me no to my face too. So, and like I said, I mean, I've had situations where they're mean and nasty over the phone, and I show up and they're the nicest people in the world and they let me in and I make a sale. So don't give up on your leads. If they hang up on you over the phone, don't think that that lead is trash or that it's garbage. Uh, door knock that lead a few days later. If they still don't give you the time of day, I would put that in my pile of leads to call and do this all over again in maybe 6 months to a year. And the reason I say that is because people's situations change. What was not important to somebody a year ago could be very important to somebody right now. People's finances change. The cost of living has gone up. Everything costs more money right now. People's health changes. Somebody might have been in perfect health a year ago, and then maybe 6 months ago they had a stroke. And now they realize, boy, I thought I was going to live forever, but now I had this health issue. I had a heart attack 3 months ago. Just little things like that where maybe now they realize this is important. I thought, like I said, they thought that they were just, healthy, going to live forever. And now maybe reality is set in a little bit and they realize that, yeah, I need to do something. So even if you got rejected over the phone or in person, like I said, take that lead 6 months to a year later, do it again. There's a good chance they probably won't even remember you. And just do it again, and your results could be a little bit better. This is just one example of a direct mail lead. This is the DE73. Nita lead is, I would say, my main vendor for direct mail. I've always had a lot of success with them. They do a good job. They do have a fixed price per lead. They also have the 1,000-piece mailers. I'm not sure exactly what their price is right now for the mailers, the 1,000 pieces. I know it's over 500. That's just because postage has gone up in that. But just one example, you may qualify for a state regulated program to pay for your final expenses. It's important that you know how to qualify for this life insurance benefit available to you. So this lead does say life insurance. For those of you that feel that you have to have a lead piece that says life insurance on it, here you go. A lead piece that says life insurance on it right now is going for about over $50 a lead. So the more generic lead is going for about $40 a lead. And I'm working the more generic one with the same results as a lead that says life insurance on it. So I would recommend, if anything, save the extra money and or invest that into additional leads rather than the lead that says life insurance on it. But if you don't want to leave your house unless you have a lead that says life insurance on it, well, then work this one. Direct mail phone script. Hello, Mary. Yeah, my name is Adam. I'm a state licensed underwriter calling about the yellow request card I received back from you that you just sent in. I just needed to verify a few things with you real quick. Now, you put on there that you were 65 years young. Is that correct? And I have your address is 1050 Park Lane in Joliet, Illinois. Is that correct? Okay, great. And I know that your phone number is correct because I'm speaking to you. Well, I'm going to be in your area tomorrow to go over your benefits, and I just need to see if 10 a.m. works for you. And if they say no, then ask about another time. Okay, I also have an opening at 2:30. Is that better? If still no, have them tell you what time they are available. Okay, great. It'll only take a few minutes to go over what you qualify for and take care of you. And then more questions. Is your address a house, apartment, mobile home? What color is it? Any cars outside that will help me identify your house? Just so you know, it's me. I'll have my state ID badge with me, and I'm a tall guy with a beard with I'll have a golf shirt on, whatever. However you want to describe yourself. Well, I'm going to look forward to seeing you tomorrow at what time again? And then they'll tell you 10:30. And to me, that's going to kind of ingrain that in their mind a little bit rather than you repeating it to them. Let them tell you what time that's scheduled. And then great, have a great day. It's as simple as that. And then, yeah, this one cut off a little bit. I don't know why I had that same problem last week. Let's see if we can make it a little smaller here. No? Okay. Anyways, this just says tips to help make the most out of your time when you're out in the field. How to prepare for and what to do with the leads when they are coming in. Um, the one app that I use for routing is called En Route. I know there's many others. There's uh, uh, Road Warrior. I know there's a few other ones. En Route has done everything that I needed to do. It's $5 a month on the App Store. I believe it's in Google Play as well. I'm not positive on that, but it's $5 a month. You can color code the pins, which would be like the addresses that you're plugging in of your leads. Another thing that's cool, you can save all the pins on the map. Let's say that you have about maybe an hour to kill before your next appointment. You can look on your En Route. You can see where you're at. You can see leads that you have that are around that area, and you can you can just kind of circle on the map the leads that you want to run. It'll automatically put a route together of just those leads that are pins on the map. Now, I also recommend to use Notability. That's an app on my iPad. If they don't have that available on Google Play, I would look for something maybe comparable. It's more than just note taking. I'm able to input every single one of my leads into Notability. And so what helps me there is that I'm able to search for certain leads. I can search, in a scenario like that where I'm circling on the map the leads that I want to work. Well, then I can plug in the address and Notability, and that lead will pop up. So I'll be able to see exactly what lead that is that I'll be working. Makes it real easy. I guess it'd be kind of hard to just circle leads on a map if you didn't know which leads those would be matched up to. So yeah, Notability. And I mean, I take my iPad straight to the door, even direct mail leads. I just show them the lead right on the iPad. And it works really well. It's really helped me to stay much more organized. And I think I'm going to do a training on that too, just how I work those two together, the En Route along with that Notability, because it's really helped me out in the field to stay organized and where I'm not just shuffling through piles of leads that are in my back seat. This just really helps me stay a lot more organized. I got notes on all the leads, and then I have different folders set up on Notability. If I make a sale, then I move that lead over to my sales folder. If the person told me that they weren't interested, well, then I'll move that into the not interested, like I said, and then maybe in like 6 months to a year, I'll go back and I'll door knock them again. So when the leads arrive, again, I try to work the appointments that you set. You might have zero success setting up appointments, and then you got a whole day trying to find stuff to do. Well, then put a route together. Like I mentioned, I use the En Route, works really well. And it will also optimize the order of those stops. What that means is that it's going to shuffle those leads into the fastest route from point A to point Z. And then you just hit start and you go from one lead to the next to the next. Begin the route and stop by each lead as they come up. It's as simple as that. If the lead's not home, make a note on the back of the lead of the time that you were there. You can also try using delivery notices. I've been using those the last few weeks, and those have helped me too. One thing I wasn't using them for a while. I used to use them, but these Facebook leads, they're so spread out, and I just want to try to get a hold of the person. So they might not answer their phone, but they will call back to a delivery notice. So if I can at least get that person on the phone to see how much they are interested and see if I can maybe then get the appointment set with them. Now, once you've run through all your leads, put another route together with the leads that you weren't able to get a hold of. That's the great thing about the GPS system and the routing software. I could run a whole route. I might have 20 direct mail leads. It might take me 3 or 4 hours to door knock those leads. By that time, it might only be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, then I can put another route together. I remember back in the day, before they had like the GPS systems. I guess maybe now I'm just going to sound like an old person. I remember using like a map software program where I'd have to print my route out, and then I would just follow the route just based off of the information that was printed. But when I was done with that route, I mean, half the time I didn't know where I was at, and the only option would be to go home because I'd have to finish following that mapping software. So this just makes it so much easier these days with the routing software and putting your routes together, running that route. You can run another route. I'd recommend to run a PM route. People that you weren't able to reach during the day, those are people that are working more than likely. Put together a route of just those people. And there's a good chance you'll catch some people, between 5 and 7 o'clock at night. In the summertime, I mean, I'll door knock leads probably all the way up until 8 o'clock at night. Once it starts to get dark a little bit earlier, I do head in a little bit earlier, or I try my best to at least have appointments set for the evening. I don't mind showing up to a house when it's dark at 7 o'clock at night if I have that appointment set. But I usually am not going to door knock once it's like pitch blackout. What to wear? What to wear out in the field. I mean, I'll wear shirts like what I'm wearing today. Pretty simple, pretty basic. I'm just wearing it's a Under Armour golf shirt. I'll wear this with like some golf pants or like some slacks. I mean, that's really all, what I wear out in the field. In the winter time, I'll wear a sweater, even in some jeans. I've never had anybody tell me, I can't believe you're showing up to my house in jeans. It's always been a non-issue. But business casual, keep the client comfortable. You don't need to show up wearing a suit and tie to sell final expense. You don't want to look intimidating. What should you take to the door? Anything to sell a policy. I had an agent once tell me that he likes to keep his car on and he just goes up to the door to act like he's just popping by to say hi. And then, oh, you actually want me to come in? Let me go get my stuff. Like if an agent or anybody came to my house and did that, like they'd turn around and go back to their car and I'd lock my door and I wouldn't let them in. So, take whatever you can up to the door that you're going to need to make a sale. Pretty self-explanatory. Door knock approach. Hi, Mike. Yeah, I'm Adam. I'm a state licensed underwriter, and I have your request you sent in to us a little while back. I have a little bit of time before my next appointment. It takes about 10 minutes. Can I come in? It's as simple as that. You don't need to spend 10 minutes explaining at the door why you're there. They see the card. They know they filled it out. The goal is to get in the house and do a presentation. So keep it simple. You show them the card, they can look at it, they know what it's about. So then it takes about 10 minutes. Can I come in? So if you liked what you heard today, sign up for my future trainings. Go to adambersan.com, fill out the form. We'll add you to our mail list. And each week, you will be notified of what the topics will be for that week. You can also fill out inquiry at adambersan.com or unitylifegroup.com. If you are looking for a new opportunity, be more than happy to see what we can do to help you to achieve that long-term success. As I mentioned, we got the lead program. We have, good level contracts available with multiple carriers, and, we'll be here for you and do what we can to help you and support you. adambersan.com/training. You can check out different trainings that I've done. YouTube.com. Get on my YouTube channel. All of my weekly trainings are on there. They're just there to help you and to help you get better. So check them out. And thanks again for attending. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I hope you have a great week, and don't hesitate to get a hold of me if you need anything. Thanks again.